This is the Planet Reigate podcast.
Hello, I'm Peter Stewart. Welcome to episode... All right, enough with the bells. All right, okay. Welcome to episode 14 of the Planet Reigate podcast for December the 16th. Hope you're well. Thank you for the loan of your ears. In the Good Time Guide this week, concerts and choirs. Guess at the height of the Christmas tree competition as well. Santa's local routes this week. Some of the local church services over Christmas. And several Christmas holiday clubs to tell you about. Our guests this week from Reigate Ladies Joggers, including a money off code if you want to get fit in the new year. Yeah, listen out for that money off code coming up. Plus, we hear from Renewed Hope, who of course care for local homeless people. And extra calls on their help over the winter and the Christmas period as well. Hear from them a little bit later on. In our news, a really odd story this week. Confusion between Gaza and Reigate. You thought they didn't have much in common. Turns out they maybe do. Plus, how you can help some legal street art on Hooley Lane. And we got details of 7 award-winning local companies for various reasons that you may want to cheer ahead of the new year. I'll crack the code from Betchworth. And our Soundscape, of course, it's the run-up to Christmas. We've got church bells, all that and more, as the Planet Reigate podcast continues.
This is the Planet Reigate podcast with Peter Stewart.
But first things first, there's a thank you so much going out to a few people who've got in contact over the course of the last 7 days. Claire says, I often feel Reigate is not very good at promoting itself compared to the rest of Surrey, so this is a really interesting idea. I will be listening to your podcasts. Thank you again. And Jenny says the fact that you've taken the time to really hone the production is very apparent. Jenny and also Claire, thank you so much. This from Voluntary Action Reigate and Banstead, who posted on social media, have you heard it yet? Hey neighbours, ready for a weekly dose of all things Reigate? Check out the Planet Reigate podcast for local events, stories and everything that makes our community buzz with excitement. Why you'll love it? Local flavour. Dive into the heart of our area with stories that hit close to home. Vibrant events. Stay in the loop with the latest happenings and must attend local events. Community Spotlight. Discover the incredible people shaping our neighbourhood one story at a time. Let's keep the local spirit alive. This is a great local resource and we're happy to help. Boy, oh boy, that is so handy. Guys, at Voluntary Action Reigate and Banstead, I'm very much indebted for your very kind words. Thank you so much indeed. Yep. If I had a marketing department, I'd sack them and get you on board. That's very kind. And Disability Equipment Services say, it's a great show. Look forward to hearing it every week. Thank you, Peter, for producing it. No, thank you for being there and listening and commenting and sharing your thoughts about it as well. And Buckland and Betchworth Choral Society, I've mentioned them a few times on the show over the last 14 weeks, say the Planet Reigate podcast is an excellent way to catch up on all that's happening in the area. Don't miss out. Subscribe to the show so you don't miss a single episode and you can be one of our supporters. Details on how you can support us a little bit later on in today's programme. As I say, all sorts of things on the way. That money off code for Reigate Ladies Joggers, hearing from Emma and also from a few other ladies who take part in that event. Renewed Hope. Andrew and Hugh, my guests later on as well. We feature Betchworth and Reigate and also tell you what's going to be happening for the next 2 weeks of the episodes of the Planet Reigate podcast. But first, the Planet Reigate Planner. We call it the Good Time Guide.
The Good Time Guide. Things to do and places to go on the Planet Reigate podcast.
Yeah, and the Good Time Guide is brought to you by the Get Social in Redhill and Reigate Facebook group, together supporting local hospitality businesses. I'm Peter Stewart, and if you want to mention for your charity or non-profit event, let us know about it. You can fill out the form you'll find on the planetreigatepodcast.com. So today's Saturday, mulled wine and delicious things to eat afterwards. After what? The Path Christmas Concert. Saturday at 7:45 at All Saints Church, Battlebridge Lane in Merstham. Also happening today, a Christmas tree event between 2 and 4 at St Nicholas Church in Charlwood, including a Guess the Height of the Christmas Tree competition as well. All the family is welcome. You can book now via 07752 90 20 20. Santa is out and about on Saturday night, starting at 4:30 from Yorke Road. Tomorrow, Sunday, there's a cello concert in Reigate Park Church. Open Strings Cello Ensemble is a group of cellists from the Royal College of Music, the Royal Academy of Music and other London conservatoires. It's between 4:30 and 5:30. Santa's going to be making a special appearance at Earlswood Park. Tomorrow, Sunday, starts from Royal Earlswood Park at 4 o'clock. On Monday, now there's lots of Christmas holiday camps around the area, so let's run through some of these. There's a Christmas sports and arts and crafts holiday camp, Monday the 18th to Wednesday the 20th at Reigate Priory School for 4 to 14-year-olds. Christmas sports, arts and crafts and all sorts of things going on there. So it's 9:30 to 3:30, it's £30 and it's all been organised by Camp Marshall X. So email office@campmarshallx.co.uk. There's a Winter Wonderland holiday club including dodgeball, musical theatre workshop, archery and bouncy castle at Raycommon Primary School, Monday to Friday all this coming week. campglide.co.uk for more on that one. And the YMCA has various holiday clubs going on. On Monday, Winter Wonderland. Tuesday, Santa's Workshop. Wednesday, the theme is Christmas Through the Years. Thursday is The Grinch. Wednesday, the 27th, New Year's Wishes. And Thursday, the 28th, another New Year Wish event. So it's for children aged 4 to 12. It goes on from 8 o'clock in the morning through till 4 and it's £32.50. More details at ymcaeastsurrey.magicbooking.co.uk. Santa's going to be out and about from 6 o'clock on the Watercolour and Park 25 estates and from 6:30 from the Beehive pub around Sandcross Lane. The Unison Choir are taking part with various choir events this Christmas, including a Christmas walkabout in support of the Lucy Rayner Foundation. So on Monday the 18th, they're going to be going from Linden Gardens from around 6:30 and up Nutley Lane from around 8 o'clock. Would love to sing for you, they say. Any requests gladly received. Tuesday the 19th, Brockham Arts Club have some elf workshops, a selection of fun-filled morning or afternoon Christmas workshops for children 4 to 11. So on Tuesday it's bauble and all things gingerbread, the themes. On Wednesday, cuddly toy making and festive pottery. And Thursday the 21st, Chocolate and Chef's Academy, £22 a child. And you can go to brockhamartsclub.co.uk for more information on that one. Santa is out and about as well on Tuesday from 5 o'clock on the Outwood Smallfield area and from 6:30 from Abinger Drive. On Wednesday, Egg Chaser have a Christmas camp, 3 days of rugby Super Sevens. Starts at 8:30, goes through till 3 o'clock in the afternoon at Old Reigatians RFC, and you can book via 07933 759 383. There's a Christmas yoga, crafts and games workshop on Wednesday between 1:30 and 5:30 at Salford's Village Hall. Lisa Gould Coaching at gmail.com for more on that. Santa is out and about in the South Nutfield area from 6 o'clock on Wednesday. Yeah, don't forget, if you want to mention for your charity or non-profit event, then fill out the form via the planetreigate.podcast.com and it'll come through to us here at Planet Reigate HQ. Thursday the 21st of December, there's a quiz at 7 o'clock at the Surrey Oaks, £2 a person, teams up to 6, cash prizes to be won. Santa is out from 6:30 and the Woodhatch Road area. Friday is out and about Ray Park Road, starting on Alma Road at 6:30. We always look ahead from one Saturday to the next. And Egg Chaser RFC take their bow in a match against Reigate Rugby Club, all raising money for Maggie's at the Royal Marsden Cancer Centre, and there'll be a voluntary gate donation. So if you want some more information on that, where the kick-off is 2 o'clock, office at eggchaser7s.com.
The Planet Reigate podcast. Great stories from Reigate.
Don't forget to subscribe to the Planet Reigate podcast, and then you won't miss an episode. On the way, 60-second soundscape from a church in Reigate. Plus, how you can save some money with Reigate Ladies Joggers.
This is the Planet Reigate podcast with Peter Stewart.
Yeah, a few weeks ago, I caught up with Emma and a whole load of lovely ladies as they were about to set off on an evening run around Reigate. Yeah, you've seen them around with their brightly coloured tops on and their head torches as well. They are Reigate Ladies Joggers. But it's not just that group, they've expanded their wings as well. And I heard all about it when I caught up with Emma for the Planet Reigate podcast.
I'm the owner and head coach of Reigate Ladies Joggers. I was one of the founding members. Anna Smith and I decided that it would be a good idea to create a club that was more accessible for women that didn't fit into a athletics club or wanted to get fit and healthy, wanted to get strong, but didn't feel able. People want to get fit and healthy, but they feel quite threatened by going to big organised groups, and I'm never going to be able to keep up with everybody and all that sort of thing. But we pride ourselves on being accessible to lots of different age groups and size, shape, creed, everything.
And that's it, isn't it? Because if you go down to the gym, that is very intimidating. Well, look at me, I haven't done that much gym work, but occasionally I've been down. You're there and you think, I don't quite know what to do. I don't know anyone else here. Yeah. Am I going to look a fool? Am I using this bit of equipment right?
Yeah. You know, it's all those sorts of things that we get. When people come and join us, we have a beginner programme that we run 3 times a year. In January and in April and in September, they're the real kind of key times when people want to get fit. And people ask me, what should I wear? Do I need this? Do I need that? Do I need special equipment? And just turning up on that first day is so scary for people, and we completely get that, and that's why we really do pride ourselves on being welcoming and friendly, and there's nothing to worry about. No question's a silly question.
You don't have to have an account at Sweaty Betty's, is what you're saying?
Absolutely not. You can wear whatever you like. What we do say, though, is a decent pair of trainers and a good sports bra.
Right. Yes, I can understand. But a lot of that is for safety, is looking after yourself and so on. It's not how you look.
Absolutely.
So you don't
and then
do
as
any
time goes on, you might decide that you'd like a snazzy watch that tracks your performance, or you might like a pair of trail shoes to run off-road rather than one that's a hybrid that does both jobs. So obviously you can spend a lot of money on this hobby if you like, but that can be something that comes later. But
and also I'm guessing that a lot of this is perhaps mums or slightly older people who perhaps haven't been running maybe since the school days.
Absolutely. And in fact, a lot of people come to us and say, I hated PE at school, and I was the one that didn't want to do cross-country or even take part in tennis or netball or anything. And actually they come here and think, there's no way I'm going to be able to run. They can. And it's such a lovely thing to see over those 6 to 8 weeks, them flourishing into people that go, I'm actually a runner now. This is amazing. And it's the one thing that you can just put your trainers on, go out the door and feel great about yourself. 15, 20 minutes and just raising your heart rate, getting out into the fresh air, into nature. There's nothing better than getting out into the fresh air, whatever the weather. And we really do run whatever the weather, which is quite interesting when we get our beginners coming and joining. It's pouring with rain. Are you really going to run in this? Yes, we are. You just put a nice cap on and a weatherproof jacket or something.
And you appreciate the hot shower afterwards even more. Oh
gosh, it just feels so much nicer afterwards, doesn't it? So I think it's getting outside, particularly in green space, really important. We hear a lot about, the benefits to our mental health. health, and it is much more about the mental health benefits than it is the physical health benefits for a lot of our ladies. They come because it's very sociable. They form amazing friendships within the group just because, we're all doing the same thing together at the same time. And coming out of the door on, what time are we now? It's 6:45 on a Monday night.
And it is cold, and it's dark. And some of the roads and pavements are still going to be wet, aren't they?
Yeah. And people are probably thinking, do you know what? The sofa's looking a lot more appealing, and there's something wonderful to watch on television or a hot cup of tea. But I'm telling you that those things will feel so much better if you've been out for a run before. There's no such thing as a bad run.
Okay, excellent. Okay, so it sounds as though it's going pretty well. It's not just for women. We've spoken a lot about women at the moment, or so far, but it's more than
that's how it came about. Yeah. So, it was all about making it very accessible for women, making women feel not threatened by being in an environment that had men and women in it. That doesn't mean we don't like running with men, we don't like men. It's nothing like that. It's just that men tend to be very competitive with each other. Women are very collectively competitive, so we'll collectively achieve this together. So that's why the women-only thing works really, really well for us. But we do have a men's section. So we have a Reigate men's joggers, and they go out on a Tuesday night. They always come to the track. We share a session on a Friday lunchtime and a Sunday morning. And we have a fabulous coach called Richard who leads that group. That one's really, really popular as well.
And what kind of routes are you doing?
At the moment, we're predominantly doing road running in the evenings, clearly, because it's dark. So we make sure it's well-lit roads. We also, when it gets to Christmas, go and have a look at all the Christmas lights and all that kind of thing. In the daytime, we're doing trail runs, road runs. We have trail runs on a Saturday morning, and we also have 2 fitness for runner sessions on a Friday lunchtime and a Sunday morning at the track at Battlebridge in Merstham.
And are there any social activities as well, or is it purely just... Right, okay.
Yeah, we do. We do a lot. In fact, we do a lot of things sort of charitably. So we do a lot of sort of, food bank collections, all that sort of thing. So yes, we do social things as well and make sure that we're sort of keeping our community together. We often do some really good collaborations with other local businesses. One of our favourites is Inside Out Health in Reigate, and they do a lot of things for us. When they might do sort of a talk on menopause for us, they might do something to do with stress or sleeping or whatever it is. And it doesn't have to be female-centric, but it's very good to kind of collaborate with other businesses that have got similar objectives.
How can people get in touch? I say that, but actually you are everywhere on Facebook, aren't you? You've got a really good presence there.
Yes, thank you. We've worked really hard. Social media is the predominant way that people find us, also through Google. Facebook and Instagram, you can find us Reigate Ladies Joggers. Also, we are known colloquially as the Pink Ladies, so you'll see us running around in pink t-shirts. The coaches wear purple, the ladies wear pink. It's not compulsory, of course, but it just feels nice to be part of that community. You can get hold of us through all of those mediums.
And obviously all very safe, the routes, you've got people at the beginning and at the end of a group that's running, you've got lights and all the rest of it.
Absolutely. All our coaches are fully trained. We're covered by UK Athletics. We've got a really fantastic band of helpers as well, ambassadors that come and help us on our runs, so that we've got people, that can look after somebody that might be struggling a little bit or needs a little bit of extra help. But yes, there's a coach on each and every run. We make sure that our runs are tried and tested, risk assessed, all that sort of thing. And yes, quite muddy at the moment in the countryside, but really good fun as well.
And if you want to get your first month's membership free, I can tell you how to do that a little bit later on in the show. Plus, also, we'll hear from some of those joggers, from Reigate Ladies Joggers, a little bit later on too. On the way, Crack the Code from Betchworth, Renewed Hope, and our interview with Andrew and Hugh from their base in Redhill. On the way, on this week's edition of the Planet Reigate podcast.
Planet Reigate is peeling bells in Reigate and appealing bargains at the Belfry. And this is the Planet Reigate podcast.
And peeling bells from Reigate will be the subject of our 60-second soundscape this week as we end the show with local natural sounds uninterrupted. Ahead of Christmas, it kind of seemed appropriate to have the bells from the Church of the Holy Family on Yorke Road in Reigate. Now, talking about Christmas, I don't know if I should ask for a Christmas present from you, but I'm going to be humbled if you do consider subscribing to the show as a present. That would be so fantastic. It would mean so much. You can do that through your favourite podcast app. Just search for the Planet Reigate podcast and hit the subscribe button. It'll mean that all of the shows are downloaded automatically just as soon as they're available, usually on a Friday afternoon. I'd be most grateful. Thank you so much. I'm Peter Stewart. Thank you for the loan of your ears. On the way, Renewed Hope is a local charity based in Redhill which gives practical solutions, emotional support to the homeless, vulnerable and isolated people of East Surrey. Practical solutions? Well, you can't get much more practical than a hot meal, can you? I mean, homeless at Christmas, the winter. Think about it. Hear about Andrew and Hugh and the work that they do and how their team helps the homeless, and how you can get involved as well. Coming soon on the Planet Reigate podcast before the show is out. First of all, let's look at a few other items that you might be interested about. And this caught my eye during the course of the week. A video posted to social media claiming to show a tunnel system under the Gaza war zone. Actually revealed to be tunnels under Reigate. Yeah. It surprised me as well. So, there's a complex tunnel network estimated to be hundreds of kilometres long underneath Gaza, which Israel says is a key part of the military operation of Hamas. Now, we're not going to go down that road because we're strictly non-political. But as I say, this local link was really intriguing. So, AAP Fact Check conducted a Google image search of a still from the video and sourced it to a TikTok social media account from Urbex Kev. Now, Urbex is a recreational pastime in which people explore derelict urban structures, buildings, tunnels, that kind of thing. Now, many of the videos on that TikTok account are, as I say, buildings, but also underground bunkers, bomb shelters and old railway tunnels throughout England. And the Facebook clip that we're talking about is taken from a 10-minute video on that Urbex Kev account, which shows the same urban explorer in the same black t-shirt. And that video is tagged Bunker, War, World War II, History and Underground. There's no indication where the video was taken, but there is a clue at the 2-minute 37-second mark. And that's an image of an old newspaper. And the word shelters can be seen in the headline above a photo of a man in a helmet, and that page is torn across the lower half of the photo. And they've traced that image back to a Derelict Places website, which has a series of photos taken inside secret tunnels in Reigate. Yeah, Reigate's secret tunnels. And that website names the tunnels, quote, Reigate Battle HQ and Reigate Citadel, and says it's a military structure which played a significant role during World War II. Now, I've lived in the area for most of my life, and I'm struggling to think of any more tunnels underneath Reigate than the ones we all know about that you get into via Tunnel Road and you go down, and it was in fact those sand quarries that most of us have been down when they have those rare but really interesting and exciting exploratory open days. So, where is the Reigate Battle HQ or the Reigate Citadel? If you want to know more details about the story I've been talking about, check out the link that we put in our show notes. OK, Betchworth Parish Council is interested to hear from anyone who's struggling with slow broadband speeds. A recent update from Surrey County Council alerted parish councils to the government having extended the target date for providing fibre to the home of all homes from 2025 to 2030 in recognition that there are now expected to be a small number of very hard to reach properties that will be difficult to serve. So do you live in the Betchworth area and you still haven't got the speeds that you want with your broadband? Do you consider you may be one of those very hard to reach properties? Well, if you've been trying without success to sign up to faster broadband speeds, then I've got a number that you can phone and talk to somebody about. That's going to be the clerk of Betchworth Parish Council, and they want to know your experiences so they can work out what the challenges are being encountered in Betchworth and whether they can have any sway with some of those broadband companies. So if you suffer from slow broadband speeds in the Betchworth neck of the woods, 07858 617 253, 07858 617 253, and that's the clerk of Betchworth Parish Council. Eco Earlswood have been in touch. They're launching a crowdfunder next year, 2024, because they got permission from National Rail to put an Earlswood street art sign on the bridge on Hooley Lane by Holborns. And the incredible Lionel Stanhope has agreed to be their artist. And it's going to cost somewhere in the region of £4,000. So they're launching a crowdfunder to fund it all. But inevitably, if you're interested, they would like your help. Can you pledge to offer a reward to help make the fundraising campaign a success? They say now rewards can be anything that would appeal to the donors: products, services, events, experiences and workshops. It's kind of like a raffle. You know, if you run a business and you've ever been asked to donate something to a local raffle, it's that kind of thing. You donate a service and then or a product or whatever it happens to be, maybe an experience, maybe some training, maybe a meet and greet or a signed book or whatever it happens to be, and then people who sign up to pledge some money will benefit from those different items. So again, if you would like to get involved with that, the details are in our show notes. Congratulations are in order to a whole load of local businesses, finally, who have won various awards and recognition over the past few weeks. Moore & Co. have won the Court of Protection Team of the Year award at the 2023 British Wills and Probate Awards. Vegan Crazy has won a gold award for their My Vegan Dulce de Leche in the Great British Food Awards. And you'll be able to hear about that in a couple of weeks' time on the show, because I've already done an interview with them about that. So here, I think just have a look over here. I think it's scheduled for one of the first weeks of the new year. The Vine King has won the Best Regional Multi-Store Wine Retailer in the South East in the Decanter Retail Awards for the second year running. Crumbs Brewing has won the Sustainable Use of Raw Materials Award in the 2023 Drinks Sustainability Awards. Happy Buddies Dog Training has won the South England Prestige Awards, Pet Services of the Year for the second year running. Bats Hill Distillers have been awarded 2 stars in this year's Great Taste Awards for their coffee liqueur. And finally, the Hartwood Inns Group, which includes the Black Horse in Reigate, has won the Best Food-Led Pub Group Award at the Restaurant R200 Awards. Congratulations to all of them from all of us at the Planet Reigate podcast.
From Reigate and Redhill, Buckland, Betchworth and Brockham. Great stories from places you love and people you know. This is the Planet Reigate podcast.
Well, obviously we can't list all of the events going on at all of our local churches, but I've chosen 3 to highlight this time round. St Matthew's in Redhill on Sunday the 17th at 5, the 9 lessons and carols, so candlelit service with readings and carols. On Christmas Eve at 4, a crib service, and on Christmas Eve at 8:30, the first Mass of Christmas. And on Christmas Day at 10 a.m, the Christmas Day Communion. So those are the services at St Matthew's in Redhill. And at St Luke's in Reigate, Sunday the 17th of December, Children's Carols, a service for all ages. Come dressed as your favourite nativity character if you like. And at 6:30 on Sunday, Carols by Candlelight. On Christmas Eve at 10:30 a.m, morning worship. And at 4, the Christingle service. And then at 11:15, midnight Holy Communion. And on Christmas Day itself, the Christmas Day celebration at 10 a.m. And St Mary's Church in Reigate, their events go like this: Carols by Candlelight at 5 and 7 o'clock tomorrow night, the 17th. On Christmas Eve at 3 and 5, Christingle. On Christmas Eve at 11 p.m, midnight communion. Christmas communion is at 8:30 on Christmas morning, followed by a Christmas celebration service at 10:30 a.m. on Christmas morning. Now, if you're alone on Christmas Day and wouldn't mind some company, why not join one of the Christmas lunches or dinners locally? pulled together by the maryfrancistrust.org.uk. You can find more details on their website. Now, you may need to book in advance to attend either of these. Christmas Eve service and a meal for anyone who might be spending Christmas Eve alone. Daytime service followed by community meal for up to 30 people at Age Concern on Weldon Way in Merstham. No need to attend a service to have the meal. More information, Reverend Arthur at ukgac.co.uk. That's Reverend Arthur, REVERENDARTHUR at ukgac.co.uk. And Renewed Hope, who are featuring, of course, in this very episode of the Planet Reigate podcast. They've got some free lunchtime meals, weekdays 11am to 3, and on Sunday the 24th and the 31st of December, 12:30 to 1:30 at the Shrewsbury Chapel in Redhill. Closed on Christmas Day and New Year's Day. Anyone is welcome to go and drop in. And for more information, you can go to their website. And those are the details, courtesy of the Mary Frances Trust. And you heard about them on the Planet Reigate podcast.
Crack the Code, our weekly game for Surrey spies.
Our guests, Hugh and Andrew from Renewed Hope, in a few moments' time. As you may know, they care for local homeless people. And extra calls on their help over the winter and Christmas period, of course. Planet Reigate Stars on the way too, celebrating local heroes. Plus tell you a bit more about our special shows over the Christmas and New Year period. So the next couple of episodes of the Planet Reigate podcast. Stay tuned for that. And of course, don't miss an episode if you subscribe to our show through your favourite podcast app. And also, because you're going to have friends and family around over Christmas and New Year, why not tell them about the Planet Reigate podcast? It's all you need to know about RH1, 2 and 3 every single week. So on to the code this week, and we've got an answer for you, but no question for you. Yeah? You can probably guess why that is, but first of all, let me bring you the answer to last week.
3, 2.
Yeah, just a basic 3 and 2. So congratulations to you if you got that correct. And of course, no question this week, because otherwise it would be hanging over for 2 or 3 weeks, wouldn't it? So we'll crack the code up in the new year.
Email hello@theplanetreigatepodcast.com. Find out more at theplanetreigatepodcast.com. Leave a text or voice message on WhatsApp 07917 874 572. 07917 874 572. Follow us on Facebook, The Planet Reigate Podcast. Find us, subscribe and leave a review on your favourite podcast app. Support us at buymeacoffee.com/The Planet Reigate Podcast. The Planet Reigate Podcast. Great stories from Redhill.
How warm are you while you're listening to this? Are you warm and cosy? Do you have plenty of food in your cupboard or in your stomach? What's happening over Christmas? You've got friends and family around. They're going to be turning up with offers of bottles of wine or maybe some food for you to put onto the table. Lots of presents. I don't want to make you feel guilty, but I'm feeling a little bit that way, just ad-libbing this introduction to Renewed Hope, who care for local homeless people. And of course, calls for their help over Christmas and over the whole of the winter really increase. Recently I went down to where they're based at Shrewsbury. Some people say Shrewsbury Chapel on Shrewsbury Road. If you don't know where that is, it's just between Reigate and Redhill. If you pass the Hatch pub at that corner on the way to Redhill, it's a couple of roads up there on the right-hand side. And up that road, just on the left, there's an old chapel, which is used on a Sunday, but also converted for the rest of the week to help the homeless and vulnerable people across East Surrey. And they've got a special winter appeal going on at the moment. We'll hear more now about Renewed Hope and what they do with Andrew and Hugh on the Planet Reigate podcast.
I'm Andrew Tyers, Operations Manager at Renewed Hope.
Hugh Sargent, volunteer and chair of the fundraising committee.
We are in Renewed Hope. This is our drop-in centre in Shrewsbury Chapel in Redhill. We're open every day, Monday to Friday, and as you can hear in the background, we have people coming here for a hot meal, for a shower. We're a very, very busy place, a very welcoming, warm place. Anybody is welcome to come.
In fact, it's got a little quieter now because you have just had your lunch. I'm just going to go over to this whiteboard because on lunch today, time of recording, pizza, potato wedges, salad, chocolate cheesecake and banoffee pie as well. That sounds really good.
That is very good. It's bound to be good. It's been cooked by our volunteers who, on a rota basis, come here. They see a pile of ingredients and they make a lovely meal out of it. Today have cooked, I think, for about 20 people.
And now in the background, we've got some people playing some pool over there. We've got a gentleman with his dog, got some other people just on their phones and sitting and chatting and so on.
There are some people who this is their community. We say here, we're here for homeless people, people who are vulnerable, but also people who are isolated. This is their community. They meet people here. They build their own networks. Other people come here, they have a specific need. It may be homelessness, it may be debt, it may be anything. And they come here because they just need some help. They need somewhere where they feel welcome. They don't need to pass any tests to get in. Our job is to really make them feel welcome, make them feel relaxed so they can then explore how we can help them.
And I think it's the first church or chapel I've seen that right next to the piano in the corner, you've also got an airing horse and a washing machine in the church.
This is a church on Sundays, but the rest of the week, this isn't a church. This is, we're open to everybody. And one of the things we offer is a laundry service. Our homeless guests may be sleeping in a tent, maybe sleeping in a car, and it's really important to feel clean. They'll come here, they'll get a shower, they can get a change of clothes. We have a small stock of donated clothes upstairs. We try not to look too much like a laundry, but inevitably the clothes rail is there for all to see coming in.
We'll talk about donations and how people can help in a few moments' time, but tell me, and you touched on it slightly there, Andrew, about what kind of dire straits people would find themselves in and why you may be necessary in the first place.
The headline has to be homelessness. At any day we will have 5, 10 or even more people who are that night going back to sleep on the streets, in a tent, in their car. Some might be sofa surfing, but my experience, people who are to sofa surfing today are tomorrow's street homeless. They'll be out there. I often say, why are people homeless? It could be as simple as they've lost a job, relationships break down, their support networks have gone. It can, of course, be to do with with addiction and mental health. A lot of people we support are people who have a history of mental health problems. And again, we're there trying to support them, trying to link them in with the right networks, with the right support.
So, Andrew, you're a paid member of staff, but Hugh is one of the volunteers who's with us here as well. You were talking to me earlier on and saying you've been lucky in life. And if it wasn't for that dice rolling slightly differently or decisions you'd made not working out as well as they have, you, any of us, could be in a similar situation.
Many volunteers say the same thing. They're moved by the stories. Our guests are incredibly open about what's happened to them. So often people say, what, really? In Surrey or in Reigate and Redhill? And the answer to that is yes, absolutely.
And part of that is because rent, its very basic level is so high here that it's difficult. If you're in another part of the country, maybe further up north, you may be able to cope a little bit better. But here, it's difficult.
The cost of living crisis is definitely one of the many factors. It can be a family breakup. It can be somebody passing away. It's a very simple sequence of events. Possibly their coping mechanism that they choose is not the right one. It might be drugs or alcohol. It's not true that everybody who's street homeless has a drug and alcohol problem. However, people that become homeless don't always choose the right coping mechanism. For me, there is a wafer-thin difference between many of our guests and our volunteers, including myself. I've made all sorts of bad decisions in life, and I've been lucky enough to get away with them. Many of our guests haven't been that lucky.
Those of us who are lucky enough to live in this very affluent area and want to do our bit, how can we help? It's going to get colder, it's going to get wetter, there's going to be snow in the air, Christmas is coming. It's a difficult time.
I've been working in Renewed Hope for just 2.5 years, and I've just been absolutely amazed, bowled over by the support of the local community, both individuals, local businesses, and this is support of their time. We've talked about the volunteers, and we can't thank and appreciate them enough. And we need more volunteers over the winter. We're opening winter night shelters again. And this is where various church halls will be open, maybe St Matthew's on Monday night, another church on Tuesday night. People who otherwise will be sleeping in the coldest nights of the year out on the streets will be welcomed in, be given a bed for the night, a hot meal, and they will have a place to get off the street, to be made to feel human. We need more volunteers to help us with that.
So it's many hands make light work, isn't it?
Absolutely. And there's a lot of information on our website about why we need them, what those people will be doing. We need donations of things, warm clothes, if you imagine you're sleeping out. Perhaps not your best cashmere, but something very practical, fleeces, wet weather clothes, basically, sleeping bags. And unfortunately, money. We're an independent organisation. We are not commissioned by the local authority. And we rely on and appreciate and get money from, as I say, local community and small businesses, some grants from local trusts and things like that. We are based in Redhill, that's where we're speaking from. We have a lot of our volunteers live locally, Redhill, Reigate, Banstead. We are a local response to a local need.
Close to 80% of our funding is personal, individual donations. We'd be delighted if anybody listening to this is willing to volunteer, that would be great. Willing to support us financially, that would be even better. What would be gold dust would be a standing order.
And also I know that a lot of local companies, businesses, offices, even just a small office of a few desks, they're likely to have a charity they support either at Christmas or through the year, a kind of pet charity that they'll move on to another one the following year, but they can identify you perhaps as that one for 2024.
Oh, absolutely, we'd be delighted with that. You're quite right. RDO have helped us with all sorts of items.
So food, money, clothes, other donations, time as well. I know, Andrew, one of your straplines is support that changes lives. How have you seen people's lives change?
For some people, it is very much the here and now. It is they're in a really bad place. They need a place where they can feel human again, where they can get their head together and then connect with the local services they need. People who, after a few days, we've put in contact with the support services around homelessness, the housing department, or whatever it takes. And they've then been able to access the right money, sort their lives out, and move into some kind of housing over a few weeks. We have other people who we've helped get the treatment services they need, mental health services they need, so they can start being a bit more independent and find ways where they can feel in control of their own lives and move forward. We have numerous case studies, if you like, that are of people who have made that shift and who come back and say, thank you to Renewed Hope, you were there when I needed you, and I really appreciate the support you gave me and the volunteers gave me.
When you ask about the impact we've had on people's lives, and absolutely no hesitation in saying it's well and truly life-changing.
Yeah, you can't get much more basic, can you, than food and shelter. Renewed Hope. Our thanks to Andrew and Hugh from Renewed Hope. You can contact them. Their number 01737 88 6997 and renewedhope.org.uk. We wish them and everyone who works there and goes there the very best for Christmas and the New Year from the Planet Reigate podcast. Hello, thank you for the loan of your ears this week for episode 14 of the Planet Reigate podcast. On the way, we've got some more from Reigate Ladies Joggers and some people who take part in that. And we've got a special offer for you as well. If one of your New Year's resolutions is niggling at the back of your head, I must get fitter. I must get fitter. I will get fitter in the new year. I'm going to help you make it a little bit easier. We've got a money off code to join the Reigate Ladies Joggers as those ladies jog around Reigate. Coming soon on the Planet Reigate podcast.
Planet Reigate Stars. Thanking local heroes who are out of this world.
Well, a little bit earlier on in the show, we said congratulations to some of our local businesses and companies for winning various awards. But these now are the unrewarded local people who don't get a prize. They don't get something to put on the mantelpiece. And neither do they get a gong or a certificate or even a slap on the back. But what they do get is a mention on the Planet Reigate podcast. These are the Planet Reigate Stars. Sam says, thank you to everyone who reported my whippet Carla as being out of the house, and to the two girls who took her to the vet in Evesham Road. They called me and we collected her. Carla is a very old whippet, has dementia, so doesn't always know what's going on. She's very sweet and safe back home. So thank you. Pamela says, a big thank you to the lovely kind lady with a black Mini who took our elderly mum home from Morrison's in Reigate when her mobility scooter wouldn't work. Thank you so much for your kindness. We managed to get it home later in our vehicle. And Kerry says, so today this happened. Another lovely few hours spent with the Kent, Surrey, Sussex Air Ambulance team down at Air Ambulance HQ in Red Hill. I was looked after and made to feel so special by Sunita, James, Sue, Holly and the team while on a special photo shoot. But even more special was having the absolute pleasure of meeting the man who saved my life 3 years ago. And what a lovely man he is. Thank you, Kevin Fong. Such an incredible charity, great work and lovely people too. Thank you doesn't feel enough. And those are the 3 stars on the Planet Reigate Stars from the Planet Reigate podcast. Get in touch if you'd like to say thank you to somebody. It could be a friend, it could be a neighbour, it could be a stranger, it could be somebody whose job it is, but they've just gone the extra mile. It's hello@theplanetreigatepodcast.com. Now, a bit earlier on the show, we heard, didn't we, from the Reigate Ladies Joggers. And we got that special money-off code that I've been talking about during the course of the show. First of all, let me just tell you a little bit more about the group. They've been going since 2013, can you believe it? They've got a membership of about 500 ladies, from complete beginners to regular runners from 16 years upwards. And it costs from £7 a week to go and run with them. Now, if one of your New Year's resolutions is going to be to get a little bit fitter, I know it's one of mine, again, and you want to get your first month's membership free, you can go to ReigateLadiesJoggers.co.uk, and we've got a special code that you can put in. It's Planet Joggers. Planet Joggers. And you'll get your first month's membership free at ReigateLadiesJoggers.co.uk. And if you wanted any other incentive, let's hear from some of the ladies who already take part in the group.
My name's Ali. I get the friendship and the camaraderie of a group of lovely ladies who got a shared enjoyment. It gets me out of the house. I would not be out walking tonight if it wasn't for RLJ. I'll go out in the rain, which again, I hated getting wet. I'll do it now, quite happily, because it's so good for me. It's good for my mental health as well as my physical health. If I didn't get out and walk, I'd have done maybe 2,000 or 3,000 steps maximum. I'll get to over 10,000 easily by doing a walk tonight, so very happy with that.
My name's Nikki. I used to belong to the RLJ and then I gave it up before COVID and just life got too busy. I work at East Surrey Hospital. We have lots of people there that go to a gym, but I couldn't go into a gym when we go out every evening and enjoy the out of doors, which is absolutely great, and I wouldn't be going running if I was on my own, but having the motivation of a group just keeps you going and it's fun.
But it's so easy to sit in front of EastEnders with a glass of wine and a packet of crisps, isn't it?
Well, yeah, absolutely, yeah. Rather be doing this. Do it later, so yeah, watch on catch up. Yeah, it's been really good for me, and I'm going to keep it up. It's life-changing. It just keeps you more positive. One of the ways to combat depression is to get out on a run, and Bear Grylls says, get yourself out on a run, it's good for your mental health, and I really strongly believe it is.
I'm Vicky and I'm a vintage runner. So that's what we're classed as, us older ladies. So I've been running with the Reigate Ladies for about 8 years. So I started because my sister's an ultra-marathon runner and I thought, I'm going to have a go. But I can't do an ultra-marathon at all. But I come every week, twice a week. I come to chat with my friends and I come to meet people. And like everyone else has said, I won't come out otherwise on my own and run. So we've got the safety of the group. And it's real fun.
Good. And what is it about this group as opposed to other groups?
Okay, so this group, mixed abilities, it's not hard pressure, it's friendly group, most people come for a good old chat. There's several different groups and you can join the group, so if you're feeling a little bit slower one day you could drop a group down, but it's just friendship and I think it's not competitive. Even if you're slow, you're still a good runner, and at the end of the day all the medals are the same, so we all get a medal however slow we are, however fast we are, but definitely the running. Definitely.
And you know what? Since we started talking, I've just turned round. We must have about 30 people here now who've suddenly congregated.
It's lively now.
It's a good group, is it?
Love it. Yeah, we've got good friendships here and we socialise and go out. Yeah, it's fun. It is fun. Hard work, but fun. That's what it's all about.
Hey, we're following them. No, not up the hill. Yeah. Are we going? Not up. The only way is up. Baby. We're ready. We're only at the start.
This is the Planet Reigate podcast.
Well, we've got different shows for the next couple of weeks. We go behind the scenes at the Beauty and the Beast Panto in Red Hill's Big Top. Hear the story behind the move from the Harlequin, the logistics as well. Hear from councillors and staff and crew and the cast, and also a local panto expert as well. So that's a couple of special shows for the next 2 weeks over Christmas and New Year. Well, frankly, I have a bit of a break, but also makes it quite seasonal and topical for you to listen to as well. It's great stuff. Hope you can join me for those shows. And finally, thank you so much for your support since the launch of the Planet Reigate podcast 14 weeks ago. Whatever you're doing over Christmas and the New Year, and whoever you're doing it with, I hope you have a lovely, healthy time and join me in the new year as a new season of the Planet Reigate podcast continues.
This is the Planet Reigate podcast with Peter Stewart. The 60-second soundscape. Local natural sounds, uninterrupted.
And ahead of Christmas, the bells at the Church of the Holy Family on Yorke Road in Reigate.